think this is all working. Sorry about the momentary confusion there. Yeah, so coming back to doing streaming again. Um, right. Okay, so the reason to come back to doing streaming again is I've started a master's course, so I'm studying uh, indie game development. The reason for this is I'm adding a new skill. I've got this big project in mind later down the line. I'll keep it a bit tight-lipped on that one, but just know that there is something big in mind, and I will be talking about it on here somewhere down the line. In the meantime, so I started the course about a month ago now. I'm just going into my first rapid ideation session. That's quite exciting. I said on Facebook yesterday about how it sort of links up with Trump and so yeah, the No Kings protest was a little bit of a worry. Obviously, like I said, the main thing was I didn't want anyone to get hurt. Um, I that's one of the things that I found so infuriating about the Charlie Kirk shooting and all of that is that being screamed at that we're glad that he's dead, when if you can make a claim that anyone is glad, it's the right wing. They are loving it. Um, they make out like they're furious and that they're under attack, but when it comes down to it, they're certainly making the most of it. But thankfully, that's not really working. There's definitely some of their fans that are emboldened by it and all that kind of thing. But end of the day, it doesn't stop them being a terrible government and a terrible way of doing politics in general, as yesterday's protests seem to bear out. Actually, it went miraculously well. I think it's whether it will do anything is not really the point. It is still it's still quite hopeful to see millions of people. I saw an estimate of 7+ million people. Um, you know, that's not. You don't look at it in terms of elections. Somebody was saying that a few thousand protesters doesn't do anything. It's in a country of millions, it's not that much of a show out. But actually, that's not how that works. The Something like 1 million people in the UK showed up for telling Blair he didn't want to go into the Iraq War. It didn't stop him, but it did certainly shake the foundation of that government. They did end up going away. The Iraq War happened. It didn't change anything, but 1 million in this country is a lot, and 7+ million in America is still a lot. It's can't be denied. As I say, will it do anything? I don't know. It certainly helps to see it. And what's even better is that everyone seems to be fine. Some feds gassed some people outside the ICE headquarters, but this is the American left wing. They're used to being gassed. If you listen to people who were, who were showing up to the Black Lives Matter protests in Portland, that was a daily occurrence. You'd show up, you'd shout at some cops, they'll shout back. Some right wing people would shout back. You'd get tear gassed, and you'd go home, wash it off, and go back and do it again in the morning. So Goth Rider is saying the volume is very low. Let me see if I can fix that. This will be a bit clunky. kind of didn't want to. I didn't want to capture the this here, so now we've just got. I'm doing a Joe Rogan now. Is that better? How are we doing? So, so yeah, partly that is me not enunciating as well. Um, so yeah, yeah, that just it's really close. That's yeah. I've got to sort out the mic setup. I did have it plugged into a big mixer, which did the trick, but it was also a little annoying. So um, so yeah, as I say, I'm a little bit. Uh, check 1 2. So yeah, I'll try and speak up a bit as well, but yeah, I'll sort this out for next time. Um, unless there's 1 second. The funny thing is, I am for those who haven't been keeping up, I am now an AV technician. So this, this um, yeah, it's weird. It's coming through quite low in the. I don't have the. See, if you upgrade to Windows 11, there is a lovely feature that where you can change the microphone level in your sound settings on Windows, which doesn't exist in Windows 10. And I'm not upgrading just yet, so I will do what I can with this. I'll try and speak up, and I'll try and fix it anyway. For next time, this is a bit of a dry run anyway. Pro level tech work, right? Yeah. Cheers. So yeah, I'll be coming back to this on a weekly. It's much like before, not so much caring too much about audience levels and stuff like that. It's this time though the impetus is less about providing a comforting voice during the pandemic. It's more now about trying to get some thoughts out of my head and into the camera, and then put them into my college coursework, and hopefully get some people involved in the projects I'm working on. If you like what I'm doing with the projects, then take a look and join in where you can. So as I said, the game I'm going to work on for my first game jam, or we call it a rapid ideation, that is all about Donald Trump. So as I mentioned, if the protests had gone terribly, then it would have been a bad thing to go into a game with that, one, in my head, and two, if it wouldn't be a good situation to do it. But seeing as the No Kings have gone ahead, and that phrase is spreading, people seem to like that. One of the reasons I suggest for that being the case is that, well, No Kings is basically like the foundation of American democracy. It's like they wanted to get rid of the king, so they had the war of independence, and then they were just like, no kings ever. If the entire constitution had just said that, everybody who wrote it would have been happy. They added some other stuff, but that was the main thing in the core of it. And so all of these pro constitution, pro Second Amendment, all these people kind of look a bit stupid when they're going, yeah, it's really important, this Second Amendment, when at the same time we're quite happy to let someone be a king. So yeah, that kind of works, and that suggests that sort of works for why people didn't counter protest very much. They didn't very much on the first one, I believe. There wasn't huge MAGA turnout for it. This time it was even worse. It was very sad. There were like a few small groups of individuals, and one guy who's only able to go along there because Trump pardoned him. after the Jan 6, and it was him and 3 other people. It was very sad. Um, so yeah, but something weird has happened since. So I was just flicking through for stuff to stuff about the protests, and apparently Donald Trump has released some weird AI video. Should we watch this together? Because I've not seen this myself. I just thought, okay, let's have a look.
A lot of my patients who have sensitive teeth want a whiter smile. Sensodyne Clinical White has been clinically proven to give 2 shades whiter teeth, and
Freaking adverts. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was bizarre. Like, that is a sitting president putting out a video of him flying over in a fighter jet and shitting on the crowd. Like that. that is that is where American politics is on the right. On the left, they've managed to organise like 7 million people without any arrests, without any violence, and they've done it all in a very cheerful way. Like what I'm loving at the moment is the inflatable animal costumes everywhere. I It makes logical and tactical sense because like the government has said that that if you're there in black bloc, then they're gonna treat you like a terrorist, which is why you did see a few people um, who at least the crowd believed were fake protesters, fake Antifa. Um, but yeah, showing up in inflatable frog costumes and unicorn costumes, I think that's, you know, keep it light, keep it friendly, and also stay out of jail because that's clearly not Antifa uniform. Like there isn't really a uniform. People wear black and face masks because they're supposed to be secret, because even before the decree from the king, they they had to keep secret because otherwise they would be persecuted, because that happens to the left and not the right. That's the way it works. The Proud Boys didn't wear face masks. Why? Because the government weren't after them, which says something quite bad about their politics. Anyway, so that's all gone, as I say, pretty well, I think. I will. If anyone knows which god was responsible for protecting that, just let me know and I'll send them a fruit basket or something. So, what I wanted to show actually was I haven't actually put this out. Bear with me. So I'm trying this one way of doing things where I've just got the laptop there and I'll switch back to it. I'll work on that. But there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to swap over to this quick. So yeah, this is a bit of a mock-up I did, a bit of an early work of for this game. I know it's quite childlike, but that's kind of the point of it. Is I'm gonna I'm probably going to get rid of the fruit, the vegetable side of it, and just have fruits. But you can see what I'm going for there. You've got Trump as an orange, the Orange King, and then he's got people arguing over who was what, who committed a crime. So this is a little darker than it's probably going to end up being. I think keeping it light-hearted is a better way to do it. I will keep with the sort of cartoony, the fruit and so on and so forth. Sorry, I'm using the wrong cursor to indicate stuff. So yeah, you've got the cartoony fruit people, and the idea will be sort of a kingdom builder in reverse, is what I was saying before. So the reason I say in reverse, usually you're starting with a small kingdom that's not very well developed, and you build it up, and eventually you deal with threats from outside and starvation, all this kind of stuff, and the more you progress, the better your kingdom gets, right? But if you flip that around, if you play one of the nobles of the realm of the Orange King, then what you're looking at is you start with a great kingdom, which is slowly crumbling from within, and the people who can do something about that, who can change things, are all out for themselves for the most part. You get true believers, but they don't. It doesn't go well for them. If you look at like the people who've actually been, true believers in the Trump MAGA coalition, whatever it is. You're looking at the My Pillow guy, and he's ruined, both mentally and financially. This man went through drug abuse and gambling problems and all this kind of stuff, and came out the other side, built this empire, and then got sucked up into the MAGA ecosystem and just destroyed. And that's what happens to the believers. So yeah, I'm still working on the mechanics and stuff like that. But if anyone's watching this now or later, chuck some comments below about what sort of scenarios you'd like to see. So basically moments from the Trump presidencies 1 and 2, part 1 and 2. And I'm looking just for, because I can't keep it all in my head, you know what I mean? Some of the weirdest stuff. If you post a story from the first Trump campaign, there's a 50-50 chance I won't remember it, and I keep a good track on all of this. So that's interesting to me. But basically, looking for the weird and wacky rather than the most infuriating. But whatever you think would make a good scenario in a video game, basically. So that's that's how you can get involved with that. I will also say, as we've had some tech issues, I'm going to give it a try to open up one of these. I think what I will do is I will leave it for another time to actually play any demos on stream. I think what I will say is I will show you where to go for a great many demos at the moment. So this is one of those things that I really So at the moment you've got Steam Next Fest. If you've not heard of it before, it's generally around So they do this. I think just once a year, maybe twice a year. But it is a celebration of upcoming games, as they say. So back when I was so yeah, this is at Steam Next Fest. Back when I was first playing games, a long time ago, on the Amiga, demos were a really big thing. And if you're sort of slightly younger, you maybe started playing your games on PC, and still then, like getting demo discs and stuff like that was still a big thing. And I thought it was really good. If you're not very well off, you could just play demos. You could just play demos constantly and not actually have to buy a game. Obviously, that's frustrating, but it did also mean that if you could afford 1 or 2 games a year, you could pick up whichever one you want. You could play through a load of games and go, right, this one looks like it'll be worth the money. So it did continue into console times, but it started to slip away a bit. And Steam originally didn't really have that much, but they came back to it, and they've sort of gone on this idea. So Next Fest is literally just all of these games have demos. This one, if you remember your retro, when I was younger, anyway, the Turtles games were quite. Where have you skipped? So yeah, this one, Cosmic Invasion. So this is sort of a follow up to the Turtles game by the same studio, Shredder's Revenge. That is Shredder's Revenge was a lot of fun to play. I'm going to go into this one just so it doesn't go away. I'm going to bring the volume down on that one, because if you can't hear me without the music playing over me, you probably won't be able to hear me with it. So yeah, good old fashioned 2D side scrolling beat 'em up, a la Streets of Rage. By the way, Streets of Rage 4 came out not that long ago. That's really a lot of fun as well. And so yeah, Shredder's Revenge was a great sort of comeback to the Turtles in the classic sort of cartoon style. Again, as I say, Streets of Rage 4 was a good comeback for that series. And this is more following on from Shredder's Revenge, but it is, yeah, Tribute Studios. Just a really good looking game, harking back to the old 90s cartoons, which obviously the what was it, the X-Men 95, is it 93? Someone can correct me on that, but the X-Men revival series of that 90s style was well received, and this is sort of along those lines. You know, you've got quite a few different characters to play from, really spread out across the Marvel series there. So that's one I will probably have a bit of play offline and upload a video of that, because I want to really dig into like mechanics of these things. Obviously, with a game like this, one thing they really need to crack is the response times and stuff. You've got to make it difficult. You do have to sort of make it something you have to work hard at, in a way, but you also want to make it possible. There's a really fine line, but it's also the feedback loop. You know, the getting hit, the response times of your character, and the amount your enemies telegraph their punches and stuff. There's all very like minute details that you have to test and test and test. So, but yeah, really looking forward to that one. And one in my library, so I can actually jump back to it like that. Wall World 2 looks quite fun. That's very similar to what I've been playing. So that one, sort of like a digging game again. Been playing Dome Keeper, that was good. But yeah, it seems like an interesting take on the sort of mining, resource sim kind of type game. But one interesting take is that like it's all off on a different axis. So you don't dig down, you dig to the side. That I quite liked the idea of. Just it's a very simple change, but it looks like they've also got some other good mechanics going on. So it'd be good to pull those apart and see what's what there. And then also this one. This one caught my eye because the style is very similar to one of my favorite games. And even the rifts seems to be a reference to. It's called Into the Breach. So Into the Breach is the second game from the studio that created FTL, Faster Than Light. They're both really good games. This one has definitely the style of Into the Breach. Into the Breach you can get on your Netflix subscription on your phone if you're looking for something to play on the way to work. It's a really good sort of like turn-based strategy. But this one they have turned it into a tower defense by the looks of it. But I always liked this kind of style, so it's really nice. Kind of this color palette is just very soothing. So yeah, I will finish up now. As I was considering playing some of these on stream, but one thing I realise is that could take a little longer than I intend, and also listening to the sound is something I haven't figured out. So I can play the sound to you, but then not hear it myself. So I will look at sound issues for next time. I'll keep plugging away at this. Hopefully, get some guests on. Some gameplay bits, and hopefully you'll be able to look at my games as I make them. I'll show you assets and hopefully gameplay pretty soon. But I am currently learning coding at the moment, so it might be a bit of a slow progress on that one. If anyone is listening and they do want to pick up a coding language. I'm learning Godot. I hadn't heard of it until I started the course and looked into it. I was like, yes, that's the one. Unity has had some issues. Unreal Engine is very complicated. It does amazing stuff, but I don't care that much about shiny graphics, as you can see by the games I've picked out from there. My future projects don't really need it either. But I'll show you one thing before we go. The good thing about Godot is somebody very nice has created a learning application. It just seems like such a really good idea, you know. It's something where you can read through. It teaches you code from literally zero, which is why it's called. Hold on a second. Learn from zero. And so yeah, it's teaching you in Godot 4, and yeah, if you go into the lessons, so you'll have all of this stuff. If it's doing it at a very good pace, I'm not finding it like overly taxing. There's some bits where I'm getting stuck, and then I'm missing a bracket or a colon or something like that, which does get annoying. But you get these little You get these little quizzes partway through the page. You can see how this actually plays out. It does these little things to show you what your code is doing. Then there's as I say, little quizzes. You pass through those, and then you actually go into a practice window where you put in code, and instead of saying that is an incorrect answer, it brings up what your debugger is actually going to tell you if this happens. So if you're working on your code after this and it comes up with that code, you're like, oh, I know what it's telling me. It's not always obvious. Debuggers they don't think, they're not good at explaining to you, so you have to know what they are saying to you. So anyway, if you're looking to learn game coding yourself, there's this. And when I come back next week, I will see where I'm at with the Trump game. So it's due a week on Thursday anyway. So by next week, I'll have made some progress, hopefully, because it'll be due a few days later. But yeah, I will leave it there for tonight and be back Sundays going forward.